All right, this might be a short video. I just realized because the results section is pretty simple, but this is the section that you tell us what your results are. Okay, and so there is no analysis here, and there's also no explaining your methodology here. You might explain a little bit of information, like who your audience turned out to be, like ages and percentages of people who are freshmen or seniors, if those were questions in your survey, and it's important for us to know that information. Okay, so specifically, you're providing answers that help answer your research question. They help inform us of that your problem is a serious problem, or maybe they draw attention to possible solutions to your problem. Okay, um, or other features that you'll later interpret. Okay, so you're not necessarily going to show every single question that you asked in your survey or in your interview, or everything that you observed here. You're going to show the main findings. Okay, um, you will include in an appendix. um, so you're going to have a section called an appendix, which is at the end, where you include extra documents, extra things there. So, like translations, if you had sources that were in different languages, you might include translations in the appendices. Um, but also the results of your survey, you'll include there as aggregated data. Um, and so you'll show like question one, and you can show like a graphic of like this percentage of the people answered this way, this percentage answered this way. But in the actual results section, you'll just include the most important information. Okay. The results section, generally speaking, is pretty brief. Um, it could be just a few sentences, maybe a few small paragraphs. Do you like how I have to like work around that thing to like drink my coffee? Quite complicated. All right. So very brief. All right. Um, there are different ways. Well, let's work on content. Yeah. All right. Display the results. So this, you could be talking about percentages or averages of your survey questions, aggregating that data and and describing it. Um, saying question, and in fact, we don't need to know. You don't even need to tell us what each question is. So certain students will get into this kind of trap where they say, for question 5, that said, do blah 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 blah. 40% answered this. 75% answered this. We don't need to know all of that. You can just say 35% of people believe this, right? 25% believe this. And so you don't have to say it in like these full kind of like wordy phrases over and over again. All right, percentages. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Or if it wasn't a survey, if you did an interview or an observation, then you're going to be including details from the interview or observation without analysis. Okay. Um, as far as how you format it, how you organize it, it's a little bit up to you. I would say it's very brief, and so you're not doing you don't have a lot of unnecessary paragraphs here. Um, and so whether you start with the most important information or you end with the most important information, it's kind of up to you. I'm just going to be looking to make sure that what you include is enough information, but also not too much information. One important thing about the results section that we're going to look at later is graphics. We have a chapter on graphics that you guys will be required to read if you haven't already. But I'm also going to be releasing a video about ethical graphics, showing data ethically, because it is complicated. And so I'll be releasing video like that later. But you are required to illustrate your data in graphic format. Um, Not every single thing needs to be illustrated in graphic format. Um, with your results section, as I said, it is focused on just the most important information. And I'll be explaining some of this later, but tables work with data sets, and figures show trends and relationships within data. Um, and then if you conduct an interview, you could still use some kind of graphic as well. See our chapter on graphics there. Now, for your assignment this weekend, I realize that it's going to be a draft, and so that's okay. I'm not over analyzing with this draft, just like our previous ones. I can't give you specific detail or give you specific feedback on each of your drafts. You're just getting pass fail grade as long as you turn in the draft, and as long as it has the basics of what I'm asking for the results and the methods section. And just make sure you're watching all of the videos that I'm producing this week to find out what I'm requiring. I'll make sure I go over that in the video that I produce on the student example, and you'll be able to see exactly what I'm looking at and what I'm talking about when we look at the student example of the methods and the results section. All right, great. Thanks, guys. We'll see you in the next